Okay, just waiting for the gang to show up. And there we go. All right.
Late. All right, and we're live. Oh, someone's.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Great.
And I've got friends.
Friends and family. Anyways, let's ignore them. So we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick. Is that his name? I keep forgetting this guy's name.
Something like that. Colin Cap.
Kaepernick.
Copper Dick. You know what I got to do next time? I'm going to bring a second laptop over here because trying to do this on one screen is fucking ridiculous. And usually people have other people helping, you know?
So well, we don't have other people to help us. It's too bad.
Yeah.
So the issue here is the fact that Nike is now endorsing this guy.
Yep.
Now, why is it people have a problem with Nike endorsing an athlete who is not a part of a team, right? So he's not making any money.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's still making money.
I don't know how that works. I have no idea how that works. I thought you had to play to get paid.
Endorsements. He's still like Nike. He's gonna pay him a fucking ton of money for him to say, "I wear Nike," like fucking Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I know, right? You see, that annoys me a lot more than anything else. The fact that he's getting paid ridiculous amounts of money just to represent the company.
Bro, athletes been doing that since the beginning of the time.
Yeah, so it still hurts me.
Yeah, but now people are taking sides with Nike, and some people are destroying their Nikes, and other people are going to go buy Nikes.
Well, you already bought the Nike, so why destroy it?
Because people do stupid shit like that, like when they started getting rid of their jerseys and selling their season tickets. Because people do that to set a signal of which side they're on at their own expense. That's what Americans do. They do stupid shit like that.
Who's that? Who's that? Like, who's that guy?
That's the fucking shake machine, bro.
Oh, why is it that loud?
You want me to ask her?
No. We ain't got time for that. We got to figure out this Kaepernick business. Like,
this is what it boils down to. On the one hand, you got people saying he's doing a noble cause. He's protesting a serious problem in the United States. Okay, it's his freedom of speech. It's his right to be able to do that. Okay, there's no legal requirement to stand for the anthem. There's no legal requirement to put your hand over your heart, participate, any of that stuff with the flag or the national anthem. Okay, that's true. There is no legal requirement for that. It's been settled that you can burn the flag, that you don't have to pledge allegiance. You don't have to. Okay, that is a right. However, I can't say most people. I don't like the fact that people do that. Yeah, it's not like like they say. Some people say I'm a statist and stuff like that. The irony of that. But,
statist?
Yeah, statist. You ever heard that? Yeah, that's a derogatory term to call someone statist. You know, that someone who is a fan of the state of government, and bootlickers they call them also. That supposedly, we take shit from the government and we'll take anything that the government says because we're not nice trained tax slaves and shit like that. And obviously nobody notices that I'm having a conversation with someone on a laptop, so they're gonna come over to this whole fucking restaurant, sit right fucking next to me.
Maybe you got that really attractive personality, so they wanna get to know you.
I'm gonna start fucking throwing soda over my fucking left shoulders when we start doing it.
That's not gonna help you at all.
Yeah, but you know what I could do also, since they have children, I could start saying things like fuck and cocksucker and motherfucker and Santa Claus is a faggot.
Wow. All right, okay. Not that bad. I can't really hear them. But anyways, so we're not really getting to anything here. here because I don't think that there should be anything.
Okay, it's it's the whole thing about patriotism, nationalism. What was the joke they said? Which is funny. Nationalism is having pride in things you didn't do in order to hate people you've never met or some shit like that. Nationalism. You ever heard that?
Nope.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure you fucked that one up.
Yeah, because it was Jim Jeffries or one of those guys. Anyway, yes, there's no legal requirement for you to have to stand or respect the flag in any way. There's no legal requirement for that. That's absolutely true. Okay. Now, it speaks to me though, if you're not like on our team of the United States, the way I see it is people like to enjoy freedoms and benefits and all this kind of stuff, and yet standing for the flag or a little bit of deference, a little bit of respect, it's just too much to fucking ask because they really gotta stand and make their point that I am beholden to no state and shit like that. Look, that's your right. You want to do that? That's cool. That is their right. So yes, it is his right to do that. The problem that some people like to overlook that he happens to be a very well-paid employee representing that team, and those owners are not there for their health. They're there to make money. Okay, so he is an employee. He is. They're playing on a team and all that stuff, but they are contracted employees. Okay, so they're out there to do a job. So it's like you have your personal rights. You have all the rights to do anything like that you want to. You can protest whatever you want to, okay, on your time. It's like if you go to work and your boss says, hey, look, you got to wear this uniform. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do the other. But, hey, right in the middle of work, you decide you're going to do something he doesn't like because you need to make a stand. I mean, that's the kind of shit that gets you fired, You protest whenever you want to on your time. It's a subtle point. It is the legal point. That's about the only legal point in this whole fucking discussion is that they're employees and, they're there to do a job. Fuck. Cunt. Fuck. Cunt.
All right, calm down. I can't really hear the background noise that much. But it really seems to me that he honestly believes in this, right? And this is the kind of thing that transcends having a job, and he's willing to put his job on the line for what he believes in. So I respect him in that regard.
Say again?
Oh, I respect him in the regard that he's willing to lose his job for what he believes in. He believes that the police brutality is such a serious issue that he should use the platform that he has at his disposal to bring more attention to it.
Yeah. Then you have people saying, yeah, he's a real hero for doing this. And they mentioned this guy Tillman. Did you, what was his name? Rex Tillman or Randy Tillman or something Tillman? Mm-hmm. That guy had a career in front of him. Okay. And he gave up his contract, took his team, and joined the military. I forgot it was the Army or the Marines, and went over to fight and got killed. That's a fucking sacrifice. That guy had no requirement. That guy had a great life ahead of him. Mm-hmm. Okay? A great life ahead of him. Great career, nothing like that. And he chose to volunteer to go serve his nation. The gray area about serving our nation with the United States, now that you may not be aware of this, okay, is that it's not like it was in World War II, which is probably the last required, I'm going to get in trouble for this, the last required war. Because the wars, even in World War II, bro, we were over there helping a European civil war, okay? But, Korean War, the Vietnam police action, it was never technically a war. Iraq War 1, Iraq War 2, which Iraq War 1 was the liberation of Kuwait. the war in Afghanistan, those kind of things. Those are on the other side of the planet. Nobody has invaded the United States. We're not defending the United States. We're spreading democracy fairy dust around the world. Coincidentally, in places that have some great natural resources, you know?
What a coincidence.
Yeah, which, you know, it is a coincidence, but also it's a real point of view. You're not going to go and sacrifice blood, toil, and treasure for, you know, the desert. There's nothing in the desert, and no man needs nothing. Yeah, there is something in the desert. It's fucking oil. But yeah, it is a hell of a coincidence how we get involved in helping nations that happen to be sitting on some really good natural resources. Like Afghanistan, I believe, is natural gas and its geographic location. But Iraq, Kuwait has as much oil as Iraq. Iraq's got 110 billion barrels. Kuwait has about 110, 115. You know, yeah, because it's a massive expenditure, okay? And you're not going to go do it for free. You got to get something in return. That's the reality. You know, shit costs money. And you can't put a price on the lives. And a lot of U.S. service members have lost their lives. 1 million or more Iraqis lost their life. So we don't want to go off on the Iraq war. But that's the thing about, you know, going and serving your country and defending and, you know, spreading democracy and stuff like that. What's the validity? What is it really necessary? Is a whole nother conversation. You know, so what Tillman did was a hell of a sacrifice compared to this guy who, you know,
he's just protesting. Yeah, it's not as big of a sacrifice. Yeah,
ain't the same fucking league, ain't the same fucking ballpark, ain't even the same fucking sport. You know, kneeling during a national anthem and joining to go actually fight in combat. No, ain't the same ballpark, ain't the same league, ain't the same.
So wait. What are you arguing here? The point that Kaepernick is not a hero? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I didn't.
Well, he isn't. He's just like a dude that's protesting. He's not a hero. I never said that. I don't think anyone else said. Did anyone say it? Is anyone saying that he's a hero?
Of course, some people are going to say that. Some people throw around words. I would kind of reserve hero a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing. He's just like protesting his beliefs. It's not.
Yeah, they were calling Caitlyn Jenner, you know, hero and most.
She's not a hero. She's milking the transgender situation for her own benefit. That's what I think.
Call me Caitlyn. That was fucking ridiculous. Yeah, when they gave her the Courage Award. Remember that?
What was funny was when she got the. Didn't she get the Woman of the Year award for something?
Courage of the Year award or some shit like that.
Right, but like she was a woman for like a few months, right? How did she get?
I think she's still, dude. She's not a woman.
Well, biologically, no. Well, he still has the dick, right?
She's got the junk.
Yeah, like
I know. I mean, only her hairdresser knows for sure, but dude, she still got her junk.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He still had. Well, I don't even know what to call him / her. All I know is this guy is finessing everybody, and people love him for it. It's such a manipulative thing to do, but it works, and nobody cares. Well, it's not something that you should put your. It's not something you should think about because it's a waste of thought and energy. So
back to Colin.
Yeah.
So, is he a hero? I wouldn't call him a hero. Personally, I think he's a fucking ungrateful, entitled hypocrite. The guy's protesting about racial, racism in America. Did you know that he was adopted and raised by a white family?
I did not know that.
That
would explain the name.
You can't fucking write this shit. How do you get adopted by a family of a different race, but then say that there's racism? Yeah, I'm sure the two are not mutually exclusive. I'm sure there are white people adopting black kids, and I'm sure they can still be racist. But to be the person who says it, I mean, that's,
Oh shit, his parents are white.
Man.
Did not know that.
Grass balls, man. Anyway.
Wow, I never knew that.
I fall on the side where I understand he has the right to do it, but I also have the right to voice my opinion.
Yeah, you most definitely do.
And I disagree. And I accept people's freedom and right to disrespect the flag, to not stand for the anthem, to do all that kind of stuff. But to me personally, it's not like it's going to change the world, but it is a sense of nationalism, a sense of pride, a sense of unity. And, I am a little bit, patriotic in that sense. And I don't like it when people do that. I understand they can, okay, but I don't like it.
I'm okay with him protesting. He's not doing it in a disrespectful way. He's just kneeling in the anthem. So that those rub some people the wrong way. But I'm not too bothered by that. If he was burning the flag or something like that, yeah, no, that's a no go. Because even in Jamaica, like no one burns the Jamaican flag. That's not okay anywhere. You don't burn the flag of your country.
Why?
You don't do that. It's a big.
I'm not being a dick about it. I'm asking, what your personal opinion is, why you think that's wrong.
Because it shows that you don't care about the country, right? It just blatantly displays that you hate your country if you burn the flag.
They try to turn it around and say that you care so much about your country, okay, that you want to make it better, and this is your protest to draw attention to it.
Burning the flag.
Yeah.
No, that's not gonna work here.
How's that for some good logic, huh?
That's how do I even explain that? That's like doing the reverse of what you want to display.
Sometimes people say things, and because they think they're sly and it sounds believable, that the bullshit flies with other people. And because nobody calls them on it or has the inclination or the desire to sit here and get into a riff with them and challenge on it, they say, wow, people believe me. No, we just don't feel like fucking wasting our time telling you you're full of shit and then the argument that will ensue. Some people, you just gotta say, hey man, sounds great.
All right, that's fair, but I think more than likely what happens in these kind of cases is people get emotionally charged and they resonate with the feeling of, anger. They get into the hype and then they follow into it without listening to the logic of what's happening. Most people, I wouldn't say most, but some people don't think about an issue before they jump on the bandwagon. They just see a lot of other people getting all heated about it, so they figure that they should get heated about it too. That's what I think. I think people get emotionally invested or triggered in a situation or with a person, and then they follow along instead of critically looking at what exactly is happening.
Well, yeah.
So with Caper,
those are sheep. Those are sheep. Just go along.
Here's the thing some people are sheep, but that's kind of human nature, no? To go along with the crowd because we are social animals.
Yeah, we're definitely herd animals, yes.
But at the same point, we have this magnificent brain. We should use it to think about things before we just jump on board.
That's also true too. Just remember, bro, you can't get an is from an ought. Remember that one?
Yeah. You can't get an is from an ought. That's a good one.
No, I can't.
As it goes for Kaepernick, to be honest, I really think that it's being blown out of proportion because it's just one guy. If it wasn't for the media covering this as much as they did, it wouldn't be that much of an issue.
It's not one guy. He's got a bunch of fucking people doing it now. And some teams are allowing it, and some teams, from what I last
But that's
heard,
after it blew up.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, it happens in the seasons.
If no one was talking about it, I don't think it would have gotten this big if anybody just ignored it. But apparently, it is important enough to talk about.
But when you're out there during the national anthem, most people stand.
Yeah, I stand for my anthem. And I stand for other countries' anthems too. That's very annoying. You ever been to like a sporting event and you have to stand for like everybody's anthem? I don't want to do that again. That was annoying as fuck. But anyways, what, dude? Why are you laughing? Like, it's annoying.
Because this is what we're talking about. It's like, wow, this is annoying as fuck. I don't want to stand for the anthem.
Well, not for everyone's anthem. Like, there are 13 anthems playing, and I gotta stand for all of them.
Why were there 13 anthems?
I think it was some competition. It was a karate competition, and we had some people from different countries.
The Olympics?
No. It was I don't remember what it was, but I was there in the stands. Was it cricket? I don't remember what it was. But we had like a bunch of players, a bunch of different teams from different countries in the Caribbean that came over, and in the opening, they played everyone's anthems.
Right.
Yeah, so everyone's standing. Because I'm standing for my anthem. I'm standing for Trinidad's anthem. I'm standing for Haiti's anthem. I was standing for good near 30 minutes to an hour for another guy's anthem. That was annoying. But if you're just standing for your anthem, then it's fine. It's like, what, 3 minutes? It's fine.
Whoever did that, okay, whoever the event planner was for that event, okay, didn't think that through. They should have broken it up.
Maybe they did. It was really far back, but that's neither here nor there.
3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, you're talking about 40 minutes of standing straight. Don't do that.
Yeah, some people just sit down. Some people just sat down like, man, I can't do this. I'm too old. My knees.
So now you cause people to have to sit down.
Well, that's because of laziness.
And now the whole stress of the social people seeing them stand, that whole fucking bullshit without a little bit of planning. Say, hey, you do a national anthem, take a 5-minute respite. National anthem. If you got to do 13 anthems, you need to set aside 2 fucking hours. You can have 4 minutes and 5 minutes of sitting down, and break it up. Anyway, we're way off of this thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so this guy, but what I find funny is that he's protesting police brutality, but everyone seems to focus on him not kneeling, not standing during the anthem. So like, kind of defeats the purpose, because the focus that he wanted to draw attention to, nobody's looking at that.
You notice that?
But why is no one else talking about this? Because I read a few articles, right? But none of them are talking about, police brutality. They're talking about this guy's kneeling when he should be standing. We can't stand for this.
It's not very effective, is it?
No, it isn't. But I'm coming back to the media. Like, I don't trust the media. I keep coming back to the fact that the media is untrustworthy. So, yeah, the people who are writing these articles might be trying to write it in such a way that it deviates from Kaepernick's point.
Hey, by the way,
yeah,
you notice how a few good cunt, cocksucker, motherfuckers got it nice and quiet in here?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
They're gone. Hey man, dude, it's fucking 12:30. What are you doing with a fucking 2-year-old kid out on the street?
I don't know, man. Everybody's got like different life issues. All right, I don't know.
I've had that situation before in bars, man. A popular place here, Flanagan's. I've been there at 2:30 in the morning. It's a drinking bar, whatever, hanging out and having fun, and letting dropping F-bombs, saying whatever the fuck I want, and had people. And I'm not the only one. I've heard other people have this situation where family people have their kids in a restaurant. They say, well, they got to go out and take the kids. They couldn't get a sitter. At 2:30 in the morning, you got a 4-year-old kid in a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning. Whatever that kid hears is your fault, not their fault. When I go to a park at 8:30 in the morning with a bottle of whiskey saying cocksucker, motherfucker, fuck you, okay, then you can call it on me. But at 2:30 in the morning in a bar, your kid is the one that's out of place. So 12:30 here, it's fucking midnight 30, bro. What the fuck is a 4-year-old kid doing out on the street on a weeknight?
Hey man, I don't know.
I'm an asshole.
I don't know, man. You got weird. It could be bad parenting, or they had no other option. I have no idea. But I tend to extend. I extend the branch of sympathy to them because I don't know what's happening in their life. I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening in their life.
I extend a branch of sympathy.
Yeah, because I don't know, man. She could be a drug addict. I don't know. But yeah, at this point in time, you should have your kids at home.
You know why this video is flouting or whatever? Because it all just boils down to the fucking 5 minutes that I explained like that, and that's how everybody did. People took it on one side or the other. There's people on the left that are taking it and putting it and making it about racism and the white man and police brutality, and they dig their heels in, and that's what it's about. And if you criticize Copper Dick, you're, you know, you're, you're discounting their cause. You understand? And then on the other side, you got people that I think is a little bit more rational, which is the side that I'm on, which is that's a fucked up way to protest it. Number one, kneeling with the flag has really nothing much to do with what the fuck this is. The whole what's being protested, as we've discussed, and which is all based on a lie and just fucking bullshit to begin with. And number four, he's an employee, and if the team says you got to stand, he has to stand. Now, people in the stands don't, and private citizens don't. But he happens to be an employee at work at the time. And that's the way it breaks. And that's the whole fucking narrative right there. So that's why, I guess it wasn't such a good idea for me to pick this fucking topic right now. Because what the fuck are we going to discuss? What are we going to argue? That's the whole fucking thing.
Well, it's good to talk about this kind of thing because we can feel it out and see what's happening. But it really seems like you just have an issue with how he chose to protest and the fact that it involves him kneeling with the national anthem. If he did it in another way, you would probably have a different opinion.
Well, I have a mild issue with people who are not patriotic. It's not gonna fucking ruin my day, and I don't give a fuck about them. I don't like it, but that's their prerogative. It's not because of him. That would be anybody for at any time. Even, we're at a ballpark, and and the national anthem comes on, and some people don't stand. I'm not gonna go over there and say, "Hey, man, you need to fucking stand." Fuck that. Okay, but in the back of my mind, I do somewhat judge that person. I can't help it. I don't. I don't think it's very patriotic. I think it's very ungrateful, and I think it comes across as people who do that as very fucking entitled.
So, all right,
entitled. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, so you're locking on to the fact that he's being disrespectful to the anthem somewhat. Well, so that's the thing that's hurting.
No. That's why I needed to break it down. That's why I said, people doing that regardless. Now, the fact that he's doing it, I don't have an issue with it. I think it's fruitless because how does it relate to that? Because he's trying to draw attention.
Yeah.
To police brutality, right? To racist police brutality. That's what he's trying to draw attention to, right? So how's he going to do that? He is going to, without no other way to put it, somewhat disrespect, okay, the flag and the nationalism, okay. I don't see how that's an effective way to protest or find a solution to, okay, of what he says is a problem, which we know is a basic nothing burger. I'm not saying the deaths and the brutalities are nothing. I'm saying that we've already, gone over how it's not the problem they make it out to be. I did the numbers with somebody last night, and 750,000 cops. There are 43 to 46 million traffic stops. on average per year in the United States. There's 11 to 13 arrests, 11 to 13 million arrests in the United States every year. Okay? Now, how many cases? I should have looked up this fucking number, but it becomes a whole investigation to find out how many actual cases of totally without reservation wrongful police brutality there is, especially with the media the way they are being dishonest to make cases, okay, about police brutality, where once you look into it, you see that the details are, the way the guy acted. And again, you have to say they don't deserve to die, but only an idiot raises a weapon at a cop. Okay, only an idiot goes looking for his pockets or something like that when a police has a firearm trained on you. Okay, it's just stupid, and it adds to the fucking body count. It really does. So, just for the sake of argument with this guy last night, remember, 750,000 cops, 40. Let's just say 40 million. Drop it down. 40 million traffic stops. Okay, and let's take the 11 to 13, and let's drop it all the way down to 10 million. So I'm reducing the actual number of traffic stops and arrests, rounding them down, and I'm going to go ahead and say there's 100 cases of actual police brutality, wrongful death, okay, homicide per year. 100, one every 3 days, one every 4 days, one every 3.5 days, let's say. Okay, which that's not the case. You've seen them, that even the ones that aren't clear cut, they come around what, every few weeks, every month and a half. You might hear about one, or I don't know. I don't know. But for the sake of argument, I said fuck it, 100. Okay? Do you know what the odds are? 100,000 to 1. That's what it comes out to. And that's part of the problem, is that people who have a difficulty with numbers are being easily emotionally manipulated, okay, because they can't wrap their head around the numbers. You see a few of these cases, they're broadcast all around the fucking nation, and the anecdotal evidence becomes like it happens all the times, and it's not. Using those numbers, okay, when the arrests are in the millions, the 10, like I said, round it down to 10 million, and even if you say there's 100 wrongful deaths by the hands of the police per year, which there aren't. Some of the ones they even mention, when you look into it, dude, there's more to it. The guy did this. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying here, right?
So look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. I'll put it here on a piece of paper just to make it simple, okay? When you have 10 million. 10 million. Oh, it's backwards. That's interesting. I don't know why it's backwards.
It's gonna invert the video.
Okay. 10 million rounded down. 10 million arrests, not traffic stops. 10 million arrests. Okay. And you have 100 deaths. Okay. I'm rounding down, make it simple. Just to make it real simple, you got rid of those 2 zeros, okay, just for simple math, you now have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 100,000 to 1. 100,000 to 1. Out of every 100,000 arrests, one is a wrongful homicide murder. You know what that percentage is, bro? 0.0001%. And this is the epidemic of police brutality. You see, when you see the numbers like that, you go, wow. Because people don't realize that there are 12 million arrests a year, 43 million traffic stops, 750,000 fucking cops in the United States, 330 million people.
All right, so that's the sort of discussion that should have been initiated because of Kaepernick kneeling. That's what should have happened. People should have started looking into the numbers and seeing what's happening, but that's not the case. Everybody's focused on him kneeling. So I would say that choosing to kneel was the wrong way to go about it, because now everybody's focused on him being disrespectful to the anthem. But at the same time, there's no way for him to know that. What
are you saying? That the right way to go about it is to give everybody a class in remedial fucking arithmetic?
No, the right way to go about it was to explain what's happening there and simplify it.
What do you mean explain what's happening there, bro? The emotion.
Because most people don't know these numbers. They're not looking at that.
When you have a parent lose a child, they don't give a fuck why, dude. And their children are angels. The kid could be 19 years old with a rap sheet, okay, and get caught with an unlicensed firearm and take a shot at the fucking cop. And his mom's going to get on TV and say he didn't deserve to die. He didn't do nothing. That's the way mothers are, bro. My mom thought I was a fucking angel. I'm fucking the Antichrist, for Christ's sake. You know what the fuck, dude? It's the way mothers are.
All right, but we're not dealing with individual mothers. We're dealing with a different group. We're dealing with a larger group of people, right? So at that point, you can't really look at the moms. They're the exception to the rule here, because that's a parent. Their child died. You can't look at them. You got to look at the general public and try to explain to the general public what is happening.
Right. Not everyone's a mom, but now you've got that mom, and you've got family members and the friends around that person. Which one of them is going to try to tell her anything different when she just lost?
They're not going to try to explain anything to her, but that's not the largest group of individuals that's participating in this movement. Most of the people that are participating in the movement aren't really related to her or don't know the family directly.
No.
Right?
There are opportunities.
Yeah, there is that. There is that.
To vent their frustrations on somebody and blame. Lay the victim and blame. It's all the rage these days.
Anyways, so what I think should have happened was Kaepernick should have tried to talk to somebody who is looking at the numbers and find a way to simplify it and explain what's happened. Look into all right. I was gonna say that he should have found somebody to help him look into.
Far too rational. Kaepernick's gonna go find somebody.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that. And if he did do that, and the information proves his point to be incorrect, what's he gonna do then?
Go fly a kite, bro.
Go
buy some new Nikes.
People are protesting that. How long do you think that night protest is gonna last? I don't think it's gonna last.
How long the what?
You have people protesting Nike now, but I don't think it's gonna last.
They're just gonna boycott and not buy them.
Oh yeah, they're boycotting. But how long do you think the boycott's gonna last? I don't think it'll last.
No, it'll just put a dent on sales for a while.
Yeah, for the next 4 to 6 months, I guess. But it's not gonna be that big of a deal.
But here's the thing, bro. The market of people who are buying Nikes and Air Jordans are on the side of Kaepernick.
Yeah, it's mainly black people that buy Nike, but I don't.
They may lose 10% of sales from the people against it, but they just got their base of customers,
to double down and keep purchasing.
Buying a second pair. It's going to be a net gain for Nike.
That's what I think in the long run. I think it's going to help them in the long run because people are going to be talking more about Nike now anyway. So when the whole Kaepernick issue dies down, Nike's still going to be in the memory of the public.
They've been around for a long time, bro.
Yeah, they've already been in the eyes and ears of everybody. So now it's just more publicity for them. So from what I can see, Nike wins and Kaepernick wins because Kaepernick's going to be getting more money from the Nike endorsement. So the only people that lose are the people who are boycotting Nike. They're the ones that lose.
They lose, and
I
everybody
guess.
who's
I guess that's
affected
like
with the
it's not a real
fundamental lie.
loss. It's not a real
Everybody
loss.
who's affected by the fundamental BLM lie, bro, loses again. That's why I told you the true evil in the world is denial. It's
I
the
don't know if
only
it's denial or people just actually believe that, black
and
people have it
most people
worse.
in the world. I'm sorry, say again.
I don't know if it's denial or people actually 100% believe that black people have it way worse in the country. I don't know. I don't live there, so I can't really speak for that. So maybe it is that they're getting the bad end of the stick. I do think that, racism exists, most definitely. But there's also this part in my brain that's telling me, yo, the media is blowing shit way out of proportion. And you need to look at the details of the story and see what exactly is happening. I do believe that there's police brutality. I do believe that, police brutality does exist. But we need to look at each case and investigate what's happening. I don't like the idea of jumping on the bandwagon of protecting the memory of a black person when they committed a crime and put themselves in the situation that got them killed. I don't like the idea of that. You shouldn't get emotionally involved with
the idea of
people latching on to protecting someone just because. Wait, dogs are barking. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't think that it's good for.
Musical. Fucking intense, man.
I know, right? Oh, God. I lost my train of thought. I don't think it's right for people to just jump on the bandwagon of protecting somebody just because he's black, right? That shouldn't be the only thing that you look at. What exactly did he do? What was the details of the case? What did the cop do? Were there witnesses? What's the information here that can aid the victim or the perpetrator, the cop or the black guy? That's what you should look at. It's not just because he's black that automatically the cops are going to shoot him. What was he doing? Where was he at? What were they looking for him because he's already had a record? You should look at that before you jump on defending the guy. That's what I think. You shouldn't defend criminals. You should look into what exactly happened.
Absolutely, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah, but people don't want to do that because it takes work. It takes time. You gotta. And another aspect of this is like, if the cop killed a kid,
I don't mean to be smirking, bro, but it's like you're covering the 101, and I can see it because you're on the outside, and that's cool. It's cool that you're going through the motions and going through this. That's the stupid smirk on my face. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if you have a cop that killed a black kid, right? The black kid's not there to tell you what exactly happened. There's the cop's story and there's the kid's story. We don't have his side of the story. So the cop's in an advantageous position. There is that. You have to acknowledge that. And there have been cases where cops will like plant evidence and do all sorts of different shit. So like that makes it even harder because you only have the cops word to go off of. And coincidentally, the dash cam that they have that they should carry, the cops usually carry like a camera that records what they're doing. That suspiciously goes off. It's not working. The footage was missing and what have you. That sort of thing doesn't help. So
that's happened.
The whole situation is murky.
That's happened, yeah. Yes.
Well,
hey, listen, man, there's no doubt, okay, that there are some bad cops. Of course. 750,000, dude. Wrap your head around that. 750,000. You're gonna tell me there's not gonna be a few people that get through? And like somebody said the other day, you can't have just a few bad apples. That there should be no bad apples.
Hello? You're breaking up there.
Because these are people training and observation and everything. And to be a cop, you have to meet certain requirements. There are background checks. You go through training, and that whole time you're under observation. They do psychological testing. You have to pass all of this. Okay, so they do have filters, checkpoints. A lot of vetting in place already. Okay, it's there, but just like any filter that you put in, you start making the fucking holes too small. How many cops are you going to end up with? You start setting the barrier so high, you're going to have a shortage of cops.
That's true.
It's just going to fucking happen. You have to find a medium where something is an acceptable level of risk. Everything in life is about an acceptable level of risk. And I sound like a cold-hearted motherfucker, but here in the adult world of reality, that's the way things are. When people start fucking freaking out about radiation, they don't realize they've got ionizing radiation, not electromagnetic radiation, because of course, right? But there's ionizing radiation around everywhere. What are you going to do? Stay home in a lead vault? You pick up 200 milligram a year just being on the surface of the planet, being a human being, 200 milligram a year. You sleep next to somebody, you're going to pick up another 50 to 100 milligram a year from their radiation into you. It's an acceptable level of risk. When you go swimming in the ocean, the chances of getting bitten by a shark are very fucking low. It's like when they say, you get a swimming pool in the back of your in the back of your home, your chances of drowning just increase dramatically. Yeah, because there wasn't a fucking pool there before. Now, if you drowned in a bathtub, dude, you're fucking retarded. Call it quits anyway. Okay?
You're fucking retarded.
Because it's a fundamental thing. It's one of the one of the fundamental things when you're doing engineering is an acceptable level of risk. I mean, there's also some very dark side to that, like when it comes to auto recalls. Like what happened with the Pinto. Did you ever see Fight Club?
Yeah.
The movie Fight Club. Remember his job where he was sitting there and he would do the risk assessment for something, and with the cars. I think he talked about it in the movie. And they find out, was it that movie? Hold on, we got the grinder going in. And they determine how much it costs if you've got 1 million cars on the road, and they determine that they got to change. It just happened recently, I think, with the ignition key on a General Motors car or a Ford or something like that. And what would happen is that the spring ball on the ignition, something like that, was not strong enough that if people had, a keychain with a bunch of shit on it, like some people do, okay, the way the key was, the mass of whatever the shit they had on their keychain was enough to pull down, and it could turn off the engine, turn off the ignition while you're driving. That's not good. Okay. First of all, you lose power steering, power brakes, and people who are, noobs and non-mechanically minded people, they don't know how cars work. There's, the special on fucking ices tonight. They're not aware of how cars work. They don't know that you have to push harder. You have to push harder on a steering wheel to be able to control the car because there's not power steering because the engine's off. Right? They just know steering doesn't work. They freak out. They don't know the brakes. You have to push harder. Oh, the brakes don't fucking work. And they get into an accident. And you can't blame them because the car is supposed to have power steering and power brakes, right? So, anyway, the indent, the ball, or however it was that they were holding the ignition key in place, okay, the cost to replace it was, a stronger spring or detonator, something minimal. But bringing those cars back in to do it, because you can't do one, you have to do them all. And it might have been 20 people that had a big fucking kludge of a keychain and caused this, and they have to decide what are the chances, okay, of somebody having a 7-pound keychain that turns the car off, and how much do we have to pay them off when little Johnny or little Susie, runs off the highway and gets killed? How many checks do we have to cut versus how much is it going to cost to retrofit all these cars? Fuck it. Start cutting checks when people die. If it's a third of the cost, it's a no-brainer. The real moral dilemma, hate to put it that way, but the real moral dilemma comes when, hey, you will start asking the question, so how much is the dollar value of that life? When you cut that check, what, $1 million? 1.5, 2 million? So
you see, it's kind of cold, the fact that you're talking about this, but
again,
it's kind of cold and distant, the fact that you're talking about it like that, but that's how companies would actually look at it.
They have to. When you're doing a recall, that's of course. How else are you going to do it?
Yeah.
What do you think? They're gonna spend, $80 million on a recall that could potentially save 7 lives. They're not cutting $10 million checks for a life, bro. You'll get $1 million, $1.5 million for a life. That's the price of a life. So, 7 people, 10 million versus 80 million. You put out an advisory and you tell people not to have a 7-pound fucking keychain. So, like we were saying, at what point do you filter where you have, the people, acceptable level of risk? At what point do you put the psychological testing where, you have to be somewhere between the average Joe and a fucking astronaut? I mean, the testing and filter process for an astronaut is astronomical. You have to have people that are completely, stable under stress, like sub-training. You got to volunteer, and there's people that get weirded out.
That's another point that people don't think about. People don't think about the fact that police have to deal with so much stress on a daily basis.
Oh my God, bro. So yeah, but the thing is, people think that people just sign up and do it. No, I've known people who their kids, I'm not going to name names, but their kids, totally normal, and this is someone who was brought up around law enforcement, non-criminal, stable, good student, responsible, mature, goes to take the test, and somehow on the psychological testing gets rejected. How did this person get rejected? I've never seen them violent. I've never seen them, abuse animals. Like, people think that it's easy. Like, the cop that shot a person, right, wrongfully, like their whole life they grew up torturing animals and setting fires. And how'd you like it's gonna be something that fucking blatant? No, man. These are people that go through the whole fucking steps, and after a few years, something happens because every fucking call is different, and even routine calls, anything can fucking happen. Anything can happen, especially when you're around people, okay, who can be armed or are thinking that they're going back to jail. And when people get desperate, people get cornered, they do irrational, violent things. It's
That's just human nature at that point. But I think we got to end it right now. It's 12 o'clock here.
Say again?
We got to end it right now. It's 12 o'clock here. But at least I would say we were able to figure out my mic issue. I just got to restart, I guess. But
yeah, man. Or maybe get yourself a little bit better microphone.
I do have one. But when I plugged it in, it wasn't working.
Oh, it wasn't. Wait a minute. You had a mic and it wasn't working?
Yeah, I plugged it in, but it still was having the same issue. So I don't know.
But you got headphones on, man. Why you got headphones on?
I don't want to use the speakers.
Oh, so you're actually listening. Oh, I thought you might be listening to music or something.
Nah, you crazy. I'm listening to the foolishness you're sprouting right here.
That's funny. So, anyway, So yeah, when it comes to hiring people, and you got 750,000 of them, at what point do you do the cutoff? Acceptable level of risk, and it's not. It's not a. God damn it, it's not a freebie, bro. You know. Now there are cases. There are cases where people have had multiple incidences, okay, and a history, and somehow stayed employed, and that's the case where somebody's head's got to roll. And there have been cases like that where shit, it just happened. I just saw it the other day where a guy, and what happens? They go to another department or another city. You understand? They have a problem in one city, get suspended or something like that, and they fucking duck out and they go to another fucking city.
Yeah, there's transfer.
No, not transfer, because transfer is like an official done. This is someone who gets fired, suspended or fired from a city police department here, and then entirely on their own go to some other part, some other state, apply, whatever, lie or get in, or somehow the person lets them get through, or they ignore the history, and they have another fucking incident. And that's the second incident. That's not a mistake. That is negligence. The first one could be negligence, but I'm saying
the second one is a pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, a lot of these cases that they say this, bro, the people, the other problem, people do not understand. Okay, the obvious thing we've already covered, that yeah, the cop doesn't know who you are, and I tell people this all the fucking time, dude. The cop doesn't know who you are. They're dealing from everywhere, from fucking an escaped psycho to a little old lady on her way to church. They don't know who you are. They want to make sure you don't have any drugs, weapons, or warrants. Not wanted for anything. You're cool. Your ID, it's valid. You're not wanted. Everything's cool, and then you move on from there. You lower the tension. No. Why you got to be messing with me? And they want to do all this constitutional law, stand up for your rights. Like, seriously, dude? And that, first of all, yes, you have the constitutional right. You do have your freedoms. You do have your rights. That is true. Okay? But what what could go from, like what happened to me the other day at Publix. Did you hear about this? Did I tell you about this? No?
No.
You're not on Facebook. I posted on Facebook. Cop, I tend to look around what the fuck's going on whenever I go to a place, because, shit happens around here, People do get shot and crazy shit happens. So I look around. And for some reason, this guy picked up on me scoping people out. And, I wasn't exactly looking all clean cut that day or whatever. And he looked at me and he goes, what are you doing? You got some ID? And I was like, yeah, I'm just buying some cigarettes. What's the matter? He goes, you look like you're going to rob the place. And he checks my ID. And, he didn't say right again. He checked my ID. And then I told him, no, man, it's just, looking around. And then, he saw my veteran ID. And that's it. The conversation changes, But he sees me. And then we started talking about how, situational awareness, looking around like that, can be mistaken or look similar to somebody who's casing an establishment, seeing who's who in planning a crime. They can be similar, And I don't look very clean cut, so I look like a fucking criminal. So the guy's doing his fucking job. You got the same people who saying cops are fucking harassing people, right? The moment they back off and an obvious situation that could have been prevented, some fucking guy gets away and causes murder and death, and people go around and say, how did you not notice this guy? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. How could you not notice this guy? Because, we're not allowed to fucking profile anybody. We got to fucking shake down the little old white lady and the 4-year-old kid, and we got to let the fucking, bearded guy, go through, because otherwise we racial profiling.
Yeah, profiling comes with the territory of a cop, because there's no other way for them to tell if you're a criminal. They just gotta look at you and say, "Hey, this guy looks a bit sketchy. Let's check him." I don't have a problem with cops coming up to me and asking me, "Hey, what are you doing? What's in the bag?" Because I'm not doing anything, right? So I'll just let them search me or what have you. It's an inconvenience. It is kind of annoying, but like that's what they're there to do. No?
In the United States, I believe it is the fourth Amendment, which is illegal search and seizure, which the cops do not have without probable cause. They do not have the right to search belongings, your person, your car. They don't have the right to do that. Okay. The thing is the probable cause. And since everybody's smoking weed, now the common thing for cops to say is, "Oh, I smell marijuana."
You see, now that's where I have an issue because marijuana don't mean shit.
Yeah, but in the States, in Florida, it's still, unless you got.
Wait, it's still illegal in Florida?
I believe it's going to be legal, or it's medicinal, or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't smoke, so what the fuck. But that's their angle now. So he can easily say, "Oh, I smelled marijuana." At that point, he can do the search and seizure, and then you say in court, you say, "Oh, it's an illegal search and seizure." How are they going to prove that he didn't smell
marijuana? Yeah, you can't prove that.
So much for that constitutional right.
Well, at that point, if he does search you and he doesn't find any marijuana on you, then you're in the clear.
Yeah, but and here's the other thing, bro. I have come in contact with so many cops, bro. The shit about cops that they will plant something where they don't find and stuff like that. I'm sure it has happened. Okay, it has to have happened somewhere. But dude, cops who don't find anything. I've been in situations they haven't found anything like that. They don't find anything. They're not. Cops don't walk around with like a briefcase of the appropriate thing to plant on you. They don't find it. They'd like to. They want to do the job. And they can be suspicious. It's just the portrayal of some people of the way cops are. I try to tell them really to the end, bro. Cops are people too. They're doing a fucking job. Some people got that job, okay, because there wasn't another job available for them. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I said in Clockwork Orange, a job for two who are of job age. And then you got the other guys that are fucking gung ho and sometimes burn out and get into fucking problems because they're too aggressive. They're doing, and that's another point. You got different cops for different areas. You take officer friendly from a nice white suburban protected gated community area type thing. Okay, you take that cop who does well in that environment, keeps the peace, knows what he's doing there. Take that guy, okay, politically correct. You take that guy and you put him in the inner city, okay, on the midnight shift. Dude, he'll be dead within 2 months. It's a different environment. The cops that work the midnight shift on the inner city, dude, that is urban warfare. Those guys got to be on their toes. They can't take shit from anybody. Now you take that same cop who knows what he's doing in the urban inner city fucking midnight shift fucking problem area. Take that guy and you put him out in suburbia and he comes across a kid mouthing off. Next thing you know, boom, he smacked the fucking kid. It's a disaster. Two different types of cops, two different types of environments. And each one is suited for the environment. Like they have SWAT teams, so it's just people run their mouths about shit that they have no fucking clue about. That sounds very fucking general. But we're sitting here, what is the problem? And that's part of the problem too, bro. Everybody thinks they can do shit armchair quarterback like it's real fucking easy. I've seen programs where they've taken people who think they could do police work and everything, they fucking get killed. Or they kill people that are innocent. And
that's real shit? I thought that was only like in movies.
Huh?
I thought that was only something in movies. I didn't know that was real.
What that was? What's the that? What are you talking about?
Like taking civilians and having them take the position of cops.
No, they've done mini documentary on it, or news shows, and taken people and put them through parts of training. They fucking fail miserably.
Okay, yeah, all right.
You know, because it's dude, it takes a lot of awareness, reaction, thinking, you know. And listen, bro, when I know I mentioned this before, and I've told people before, I did 2.5, just under maybe 3 months of shore patrol when I was in the Navy in between schools, and I'm telling you, bro, and the easiest police work there was, because it was just people on the base. It was mostly drunk people who were in school or after school or drunk with their girlfriend and drunk fights. That was the extent of it. Okay, and but the psychological part is there with people trying you. Okay, and drunks and whatever, and talking shit to you, and these are service members. Okay, so imagine people on the street, kind of like you see people there talking shit to cops, and you see cops being able to let it roll off, roll off their back and do it. I was working with a guy. I had a guy who somebody fucking tried him. He got into it with him, okay, and he got in trouble because the guy really hadn't done anything except fucking crack some jokes and say some shit. Got on this guy's nerve, and that's it, and insulted his ego. And police work ain't about ego. The guys with the ego are the guys who throw their weight around. They have something said to them, and they're going to be fucking bullies. And it's not about ego. It's about public safety. It's about safety. Is this person, if you do not apprehend this person, is he going to be a danger to himself or to somebody else? Or, if they've committed a crime, of course, you're going to take them in. But when it comes to drunks and stuff like that, and people talking shit, you know, safety, not your ego, not something they said to you, something like that. Or you're gonna round up half the fucking city and put them in jail? That's the plan. Sorry, bro. It's just when it comes to stuff like this, I have a lot of experience with it and stuff like that, and contact and everything, and people on the internet and fucking keyboard warriors. They can do everything. Everything's a fucking piece of cake. They should have done this. They should have done that. Bro, pull up to a fucking car with somebody who's got a fucking weapon and couldn't possibly kill you. And let me know how many times you wrongfully kill somebody because you're quick on the draw and rather shoot them than get killed. Everybody does that. They're fucking trigger happy. Why? Because they're afraid for their lives. But hey, they're sitting at home on the internet and they're gonna fucking say how easy it is to fucking do their job.
Yeah, because it's easy in their head.
Yeah, it is. They have no idea, bro. These are the kind of people that fucking can't handle the minimal layer of stress, and they're gonna go day in and day out dealing with people, fucking with them, and potentially armed suspects. And if people are so fucking full of shit, you gotta. So this whole thing is partially. I'm saying that they're partially fucking full of shit, dude. The numbers, like I told you, bro, when you break it down by the numbers, and unfortunately, some of the people involved in these fucking discussions, they have difficulty counting past 10. So you're gonna try to
not that bad.
You're gonna explain the statistics of 100,000 to 1. They're gonna think you're full of shit, but it's right there in black and white. They can't conceive 100,000 to 1, bro. It's just, dude. There's people on the street that cannot count up to 100, bro. They can't fucking add two numbers together. You're gonna try to explain statistical distribution?
You see, that's kind of unbelievable for me. But I've met enough people that are really stupid. And you're right. I've never met someone that couldn't count, but at the same time, I've never asked someone to count to 100.
No, it's oh man. Hold on a second. Sorry, but I had to take a couple of puffs, man. Nicotine addiction.
Poor thing.
What do you think about people counting to 100? It's the old joke of, look, imagine how stupid the average person is, okay? And realize that by definition, average, half the population is stupider. Stupider. Get the joke? Stupider is more stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Less intelligent. By
Man,
definition,
your joke wasn't funny, dog. Just get over that.
it's the way it is. You know, we haven't even touched on the fucking elephant in the room, which is fucking IQ, bro.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to.
So many.
I don't have a high IQ, so I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to. I don't want to.
I put you at above average.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. The thing is, if I don't have like a genius level IQ, I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to know. I don't want to like do an IQ test and then find out that I have a 60 IQ.
You don't have a 60 IQ.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be like low. I don't want it to be low. I want it to be high. But I know it's probably average at best.
I'll put you. I'll put you. I put you at somewhere between 105 and 110.
See, that's not high enough. That's not high enough for me.
That's above average.
I want it to be at 160.
And here's the thing that you're gonna fucking hate me for saying. Okay. African Americans, okay, have about a 10 or 15 point lower average IQ.
Yeah, I've read the studies. I've read the studies, man. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The way it is. The Asians have Eastern Asians, not India, Middle East Asians. They got some nice low IQs too. The Eastern Asians, their average I think is 105, 107. The highest IQ by population
isn't it Jews?
Is Eastern Europeans, Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah, that's it. I can't remember how to pronounce that. Ashkenazi. Can never remember.
Eastern European Jews. Bro, look at the fucking Nobel Prize, man. Dude, there was a joke saying, there was a joke I heard, or there are more Nobel Prizes in certain zip codes of New York City, okay, than there are in the entire Middle East. That's fucked up.
You see, I didn't want to talk about this because it's gonna get
trash talk there, bro. But it's true. It's fucking true, bro. Look at the first half of the 20th century. All the fucking physicists. I mean, look at all of them. I'm not saying they all were,
but the majority.
Dude, especially when you realize this. Realize this thing now. Okay. There are 10 times as many atheists as there are Jews in the world. Okay, atheists are about 2.5%, or they're probably increasing. Last time I saw this was wild, but Jews represent a quarter of 1%. It may have gone up in slight variation, maybe 1/3 of a percent. I don't know. And this was several years ago when I saw the populations. 1/4 of a percent. How many of them have Nobel Prizes? How many of them are doctors and physicists? And it's just, bro, it's IQ. It's IQ. It comes down to it. But, you know, unfortunately, there's not much you can do about IQ except have a smart father. That's the only thing you can do is have a smart father. That's all you can do. They've looked. They thought that they were soon find an IQ gene, and what they discovered is that there's a shitload of them involved because it comes down to the neurochemistry and the neural tissue of the central nervous system, and it's not a switch. It's not a gauge you can turn off like people think. No, it's it's genetic, but there's a lot of genes involved. And so, yeah, they might be able to change eye color. They may be able to correct genetic deficiencies for certain disease markers and stuff like that. But the days of genetically engineering supermensch they're far away, and it's not going to be just flipping a switch or dialing up an IQ. But another unfortunate thing is that intelligence is one of the strongest hereditary traits there are. I think it's like a 0.6, 0.6, which is really fucking strong. It goes from 0 to 1, and 0.6 or more, which is very, very strong correlation. Bro, some people don't have smart kids. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. The variation from one generation to the next is minimal. And if you want smart kids, you need a smart father. The father has a greater influence on the intelligence of the children. And I'm not hard and fast. Of course, you have a smart mom, but having an intelligent father is a greater impact on the intelligence of children. And IQ doesn't change much throughout lifetime. Now,
well, it does drop when you get older.
If you have if you have degenerative neuro diseases.
No, yeah. Generally speaking, your IQ drops when you get older. I've read that multiple times.
Once you hit your teens and stuff like that, when you adjust for age, okay, that's why it's IQ. It's an intelligence quotient. It's divided by your age, okay. And there's two large portions of IQ, which is crystalline and fluid.
Yep.
But
this crystallized, yeah, whatever.
Crystallized, which is learned, trivia, knowledge, memory, and then fluid is
the ability to
process and solve.
Yeah, to manipulate and use information.
That's the G factor. That's my strongest one. But anyway, we should save that for an entirely different thing. But that is the fucking elephant in the room. And there's a guy called Stefan Molyneux.
I've seen some of his work. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust him. Come on,
he cites all of his stuff. He's going to go by what his citations. If you don't trust him, then it's because you doubt his citations, his cited sources. But he did put himself out there and say a lot of things that people do not like, and it's one of those things that for some reason is a taboo to discuss about intelligence with people.
Yeah, you're putting down people who can't control it. Like, they can't control it.
That's very true. And what he was saying, one of the things he said is that it is completely beyond their control, and there's not much you can do about it. And however, the good news is, okay, that you don't have to be extremely high intelligent to be a functioning, productive member of society.
That's true.
You don't, okay? Anybody with an IQ, I think the minimum reasonably would be like 90-something and up, and you can have a skillful trade and being responsible and having good habits, you can have a successful life. Okay, the problem arises when you start going below that. Okay, then the job opportunities and the skills,
Yeah, they dwindle.
they get reduced quickly, and the societal impact as far as the population is controlled, it is one of the theorized and strongly agreed upon theories of the societies in certain nations and continents, okay, that have a population, okay, of lower than average IQ, that they may never be able to have a Western style democracy, okay, because number one, the stock or pool of candidates you're going to pull from that population, chances are slim and none. You have less chances, number one. Number two, the voting population having a reduced intelligence is going to be extremely susceptible and extremely able to be manipulated via the kind of tricks that you and I could see a mile away. The old school propaganda and bullshit, and that you and I would see almost cartoonish. These people would take as truth. Okay, so they're going to be very easily manipulated and deceived, and you end up with a dishonest, corrupt regime and government, and you see it all over the third world, and it just happens again and again and again, and people are thinking that it just might not be possible.
You see, this is why I didn't want to talk about this shit, man, because now I feel bad. All right, no, because dude, what you're talking about happens here in Jamaica's political system. It happens here. It happens here every year, dude.
You feel bad.
Yeah, feel bad. Because I'm seeing that happening every time there's an election, and I don't feel like I can do nothing about it. Because when I try to explain things, and when I listen to other people talk about politics and such, it's not there. The critical thinking isn't there. You want to talk about this shit.
But look at it this way. Look at the United States.
It happens there too.
The vanguard of liberal, representative democracy, okay? And look at our fucking system, and look who our president is.
Jesus Christ, that's the scare. Here's the thing with Donald Trump, yo. He's a fucking, he's not that smart, right? We know he's not that smart.
No, he is.
No, but that's not his, whatever it is.
He's not academic, okay? And
all right, he's not academic, but he has a high level of, he has a high level of social intelligence. That's the thing. That's not a real thing, but he's able to manipulate people emotionally, and people fall for it. He's able to get you riled up and invested in it. Whether you hate him or you like him, you're invested in it.
He's got some skills. People think that wealthy people, put in an 8-hour shift like it.
No, it's working smarter, not harder.
People on that level of functioning are working from the moment they wake up until the moment they fucking call it quits at night. Okay? 6-7 days a week. People like that are driven. Okay, their schedule is nonstop. They were obsessive about working and gaining and working and gaining and working. It's on that level of functioning. People say, oh, because they're just making more per hour. No, dude, they're not making per hour. They're making businesses and making jobs for other people is what they're doing. They're not fucking working and getting a check from somebody else. Okay, and they're nonstop. Those people are non-fucking stop. From the moment they wake up, the moment they go to sleep, they are fucking working. Extremely high level functioning. That's why when it comes down to it, the people are in their homes, they're talking shit and saying things. They have no fucking clue what they're talking about, man. They judge everything from their frame of reference. And here we go. They're fucking talking about people full of shit. So
well, here's a caveat to that.
Not an idiot.
Most people don't have a CEO friend that they can talk to and see what they're doing. But
what are you talking about? Most people, okay, have difficulty getting along with mid-level management.
Yeah.
And a vast array of mid-level management, you know, are not that good anyway, and they get stuck in mid-level management. Okay, and management is not as easy as a fucking.
Yeah, but anyways, my point is most people don't have contacts with a CEO or a high-functioning executive to find out how they're living their life. But you do have books available that you can read, so you can get a window into what they're doing and what they're thinking. But most people aren't going to read those books.
Dude, most people don't fucking read as adults, man. They don't read as adults. I read, okay, but I don't read books anymore. I mean, I read textbooks when I had to, but I don't read full books anymore.
I listen to audiobooks. It's a lot easier.
Well, I just read Wikipedia and I read articles and stuff like that, but books I don't, and I am a read person. But look, people take things from a frame of reference. You have people who are workers, okay? The classic, you know, thing about how the workers think that the manager is a fucking idiot, okay? And from their point of view, to do their job, he may be an idiot, but they don't realize that they cannot do his job. See, everybody, not everybody, many people, okay, fall into the trap that they think that because they can do what they do very well, then they know about
they think that those skills will transfer into a managerial position, but that's not the case.
And that what they know is important. And if someone doesn't know what they know, okay, they're an idiot. Little do they know how little they know, okay? And whenever they don't know something somebody else knows, there's always a reason and an excuse for it. So they base other people's cognitive abilities in comparison to how well they know their domain. You see, their domain. They don't appreciate what other people know and the fact that they don't know what other people know. So I know it sounds like, you know, there's knowns, unknowns, and unknown unknowns, but so that's a very common thing. Socrates did that with the people in ancient Greece, and they killed his ass because the people who were wealthy or knew their jobs in particular, you know, they thought they knew everything. And no, you just happen to know your one little area. You know your one little thing. If other people don't know what you know about that, that doesn't make them stupid. Okay? And, you know, management, when it comes to people talking shit about managers can't do this kind of stuff, most people that are used to having a set of tasks to do and a routine and working on a production line and doing that kind of stuff, they couldn't lead if their life depended upon it because they've been taught what to do and they repetitively do it. They have no idea of what it's like to survey a situation, have to make a choice, and have to live with that choice. They're not accustomed to making mistakes because mistakes are not part of their job. They're not allowed to make mistakes because they're doing the same thing over and over. They should not make mistakes. They know what to do, it has to be done repetitively. When it comes to leadership and making those types of decisions, some people think, well, you know, you fucked up and he's a fuck. No, in leadership positions, mistakes are made, losses are incurred. Okay, it happens. Oftentimes, you have to choose between two different losses. But most people couldn't lead to save their lives. You know, survey a situation, make a decision, and live with it, stick with it, and move on. People can't fucking do that, dude. They can't do that. They barely do the fucking jobs that they're told what to do, but they're gonna make fun of them. Sorry, bro. I just, you know, I'm very well aware of how fucking full of shit fucking people are when they talk shit and you know, they're just, you know, very arrogant.
I think I fall into that category because when I used to work at the call center, I would actually look up to my managers and say, I could do what you're doing.
Give it a shot.
Maybe. But that could just be my arrogance, or I was just annoyed with them. But anyways, we're going to call it here, dude, because I'm getting sleepy. I gotta have a shower.
This is an extreme, and we went way out of fucking bounds because there wasn't much to fucking Colin Copperdick, was there?
No, because dude, it's not. I don't like to say this, but like the guy's not important. Like it's not. It's like, come on, man.
And I almost fucking spit the soda.
The guy's not important.
No, in the grand scheme, he isn't. He's a ball player who fucking decided to kneel during the national anthem.
Exactly. If this guy was like a politician or an economist, he found out something that was related to police violence with black people, like that's some important shit. If he found some sort of revelation, that's some important shit. But some guy protesting violence against black people,
dude. But like you said, if he would have taken his time during the off season to go to the places where police brutality is taking place
and try to find out, what's happening, what's the situation here,
and use his position and his platform to talk to people, bring people together, find solutions, rally, do that kind of stuff. Oh, he's fucking doing something. What's the extent of it he's done? Kneel during the anthem.
He's gotten a lot of attention, so.
But kneel during the anthem. That's not nothing. On the opposite. I don't know, man. I haven't kept up. I could be completely fucking wrong. Okay, I'm gonna fucking have to look it up now because
I'm not looking up this guy.
I made the mistake of deciding on doing Copperdick. Fucking half an hour we did this because I heard about something. Okay, and I think we need to start doing some homework. And I don't know if I'm gonna post this one. Maybe I will just to live with it. But I need to start researching and deciding upon our topics before, so we don't have collapse flying and bullshit. You do
know that's bound to happen at some point, right? Like
I know, but what do you mean? What's bound to happen?
Us picking a topic and it not being as juicy as we thought it would be. That comes to the territory.
It just fucking happened. I mean, what is there?
It comes with the territory. Like, it comes with it. Like, we can't really do much about that. What we got to do is keep doing it, because at some point we're gonna hit on something that's really good. That's just how it goes. Anyways, I'm gonna go have a shower, man. The mosquitoes are really buzzing around now.
All right, bro.
Yeah, man. Take care.
Have a good night. Talk to your mom. Bye.